Formosa! Formosa! Shame of Taiwan! Shame of Taiwan!
An international group of activists are in Taiwan on the doorstep of one of the world's biggest plastics companies to call out its alleged abuses. The Formosa group is accused of environmental racism and disregarding human rights in these activists' countries.
And I think it's very important to look the people in the eye who are doing the damage to our bays and to our air and to our communities down there.
But we are fighters, and we're not going to stop. And Formosa will not come to Louisiana and St. James.
The Formosa group has plants in the US which have been dumping waste from plastics production into the surrounding environment. It harms the health of people and wildlife living near plastics factories. That this toxic waste has disproportionately been dumped on black and low-income communities has made Formosa synonymous with environmental racism.
I mean, you have such a history of environmental racism in the placement of facilities within the state of Louisiana into communities of color and communities of lower income that it's almost impossible for one not to conclude that there's something wrong there.
In 2019, a US court awarded $50 million in penalties to Texas residents affected by Formosa's pollution. There was a similar legal battle in Vietnam, where waste from Formosa Plastics is devastating marine life and damaging the livelihood of fishing communities. Activists involved in all these cases are now here in Taipei.
We don't want to see that kind of human rights violation. So we're here all together. We want that to be stopped. We want Formosa to stop.
In its home country, Taiwan, Formosa is already considered a bad actor because of its poor environmental record, and the government has refused it operating permits for certain projects. But the company remains a core part of Taiwan's economy, netting almost $3 billion in profits last year.
It's not good for Taiwan's image. And Taiwan is also supposed to deliver environmental justice and human rights. And I think for most of it does very well. But some companies don't walk the walk.
Formosa's global penalties now total over $500 million. They responded to the protests saying they have been acting in accordance with the Vietnamese regulations.
Stop the pollution! Formosa, stop the pollution!
台塑集团赔偿受害者
But for these activists who have travelled from Texas, Louisiana and Vietnam, the work is far from over. They're now uniting their efforts, seeking justice from Formosa Plastics in Taiwan's courts, bringing the battle to the home of the giant that has been found guilty of destroying so many lives abroad. Chen and Jensen for TaiwanPlus.